Welcome. In this video I'm going to be attempting to repair this Samsung SyncMaster 906BW monitor. And I'm not an expert at repairing monitors or electronics in general, so I'm making this video from the perspective of an amateur. So this is just a 720p monitor. It has a fluorescent backlight as opposed to a modern LED. So it's not worth a lot of money, so I don't want to put a lot of money into it. But if I can get it working, it'll be better than throwing it away. So I also don't know all of the safety things you need to know about taking stuff like this apart, so seek other sources if you need to do a repair like this yourself. And if you have any advice, drop a comment below. And if you want to see advice, you can read through the comments. So I'll be taking this cover off here. First thing I'll do is I'll take off the feet, or the foot, the stand. I think this slides out of here. The easy way to do this is to hang it off the side of your table, and that will slip right out. So this looks like it was made in April of 2007, and you can kind of tell how old this is because it has HDMI and VGA, but it does have HDCP, which is HD copy protection, so you could hook like a Blu-ray player into this or something. Next I want to remove this back cover, so I see 3 screws here. I'll take those out. I'm going to see if this will open here. I don't see any other screws, so I'm guessing they're clips holding the rest on. And it is prying up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that whole thing came off. So I didn't power this on ahead of time. I have in the past, and it didn't work. I'm guessing the capacitors might be bad, or maybe the power supply. And I didn't want to power it up ahead of time because that would charge everything up on it, and I don't want to do that. So now I need to get into this. Okay, that whole thing just lifts off, apparently. I'll unplug this cable. There's another connector here. It looks like I just squeeze in on the 2 sides and pull that out. That came out pretty easy. So there's a cable under here. It looks like I need to pop this off. So not everyone's going to have this brand or model of TV or monitor, but it might give you an idea of how to get in your own if you need to do a repair. Okay. So here we have a couple different connectors. Now these could potentially have high voltage going through them, especially on an older monitor. And like I say, I'm not an electronics expert. I'm just making guesses here. But I see thicker wires here, so it makes me think those might have a little bit higher voltage. So I'm guessing this is the backlight power. And there is a little high voltage warning right here. But this hasn't been powered on in a while, so I will attempt to take these off. I'm also going to take a picture of this. Now I'm recording a video of this, but if you're taking something apart like this, it's not a bad idea to take a picture, so you know where things go. So in this, the pink are on the inside, the blue are on the outsides. So let's see if I can get these loose. Now I don't have an anti-static mat, but I'm making sure to touch the metal case. As I work on it, I'm just touching it in general. That should dissipate any static. So now I can pull this off, I think. Yep. So this would be the LCD panel, and I don't suspect anything's wrong with this. I think it's the circuitry. So I'm going to set this aside and we'll look at the circuitry. So it looks like we have 2 circuit boards here. I would guess that this is the power because the power connector is on the other side of it, and this would probably be the video circuitry. So I'm going to take off the circuit board for the video. There's 1 screw here. There's also bolts here. Okay, I have a 5mm socket. Now I should probably put that screw back in because the circuit board, yeah, you can see it's loose and falling out here. So I probably should have taken these out first. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this. So what I'm going to look for are any capacitors that are bulging, any brown spots, anything leaking. It looks very good. It looks clean. I don't see any problems on it. So I'll put this back in. I'll just put the screw in here in case I need to take it out again. Okay, so now I'll pull the power supply. Looks like I can unplug this. Let's see if I can pull that out right here. Okay, I did need to squeeze in on the top here. There's a little tab. So I squeezed that and I was able to pull that out. I actually have 3 screws here, 2 black ones and this silver one. And again, I would be taking pictures of this if I wasn't recording video. So this likely has capacitors on it that could shock me. Yep, there we are. Especially one like that. That's a big one. So looking at this, the only thing I can see visually is this capacitor right here is bulged at the top. And that looks like a 1000 microfarad, 16 volt. The other ones don't look too bad. So I think my plan of attack here is to maybe replace that one. So I'm going to cut the video now. I'll source a part and then I'll go ahead and replace that. Now it would be a good idea to drain these capacitors by hooking a meter up to them, and you can measure the voltage off of them. That should drain them, I think. Although I always used to just stick a screwdriver across them. I don't know if that's the best idea. So if you know the best way, drop a comment below. And I'll probably put the standoffs back in here so I don't lose them. So I'm going to pause this video for me, but I'll be back right in just a second for you, and we'll try and repair this. Okay, so I ordered capacitors yesterday and they arrived today. I got these on Amazon. You can get these a lot cheaper on like Mauser or DigiKey, but the shipping was going to be more expensive, so it was just cheaper to get them on Amazon. If you have a lot of things to buy, you can buy them on those other sites, and the shipping will make more sense. So I also looked at getting kits. You can get like, I don't know, hundreds for like 20 bucks. But the problem is it didn't have the sizes I needed, so I ended up having to buy individual capacitors. And I got the exact sizes I needed. And from what I understand, you have to have the same voltage or higher. You can't go lower. And the brands on these are Nichicon and VZ-CMD. Oh, VZ with M in parentheses, whatever that is. So I don't know if these are any good, but this is a cheap modder, so whatever. So hopefully I can film this repair. And I'll put a link in the description to these, and I'll also be using some different tools here, and I'll put a link below to those also. And one of those tools is this Tiswall soldering iron, and this was provided to me by Tiswall, but they have no association with this video. This was from a previous video. I just wanted to disclose that. The first thing I need to do is remove this bottom piece of plastic here. So it has these little tabs, and I'll just squeeze in on these little wings, and I should be able to press them through. Looks like there's 3 of these. Okay, now we can access the bottom side of the circuit board. So these are electrolytic capacitors, and they have a negative terminal. And you can see on the board here, it has like a little white ring. If I can zoom in on that. See one here. Here's one here. You can see there's a little white ring on the side that's negative. So when I take those out, I need to make sure I have the new ones in the same orientation. So I want to take out, let me get a marker here. So I want to take out this here, it looks like. And it looks like it has a curve. Let's see. Yeah, you can see this little curve here is the negative terminal. The other one is right here. So I need to remove this solder, and I do have a solder sucker, but I don't know where it's at. So I'm going to be using this braid here, and I don't have a lot of experience using this. This is probably older than me too. I mean, it's very old stuff, but it should be fine, I think. So I'm going to put a little flux on the braid, and then I'll heat the solder up and try and wick it into this. So I've got this flux here. I'm just gonna get some flux on the braid. And this is a place where you could put a comment below if I'm doing this wrong. So someone left me a previous tip. I was using a straight tip and they said the flat tip on the soldering iron was better. So I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm not having much luck with that. I'm going to do this how I always did it growing up. I'll just heat it up with the solder and yank it out from the other side. I have these helping hands, but I'm guessing they're probably too small. I'll see if I can use them. Okay, I got it out. It's like pulling a tooth. Second one's out. I'm going to try this now to pull that solder up off of there. It looks pretty good. Okay, so I have the two capacitors here. This one was in the middle, and this is the 470, which is here. Well, these things are really stuck to the package. I didn't realize they would be. There we go. So I'm going to poke these through the holes. I'll make sure the negative is lined up with that white ring, like so. That looks good. It fits in there. Then I'll just splay these out a little bit to hold it in place. I'll do the same thing over here. I'm going to put a little bit of flux on these. Now I'm going to solder them. Okay, I think I got that down. I have some flush cut pliers here. I'll cut these leads off. Not sure if that was hot or not. I don't have any flux cleaner, so I'll just use some 90% alcohol. This is isopropyl alcohol. Okay, there we go. You would never know that that wasn't the original capacitor. Look how good that looks. Now I have to put it back in and we'll see if it works. Because if it doesn't, this might have been a waste of time. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put this protector back on. Should just pop right in. Like so. This just had one connector. Whenever I'm replacing screws on something, I like to start all of the screws. Okay, then I can give it a little jiggle here, make sure nothing's bound up, and then I can tighten them all down. Okay, I have the panel back here. I'll plug in this connector. This is where you may need to pull out the pictures you took. Or replace the shielding. This back plastic's a little dirty. I'll vacuum it, although it doesn't really matter. That dust doesn't hurt anything. Now this hinged off the top somehow, so I'll have to put that part in first and I'll hinge it down to close it. Okay, that snapped in pretty easy. So I had the 3 screws along the bottom. Then for the base, I'm going to hang this off the edge of my table, stick that in. And there we go, we're all done. So hopefully you learned something, and that's all for this video. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'll need to find a DVI cable and we'll test it out now. Okay, I got a DVI cable here. Hook that up. Okay, the power light's on. I have this NES Classic here I'm going to plug into it. There we go. It's fixed. That's good. There's no audio on this. Wow, that's awesome. So this does have a cold cathode backlight. It's not LED, so it's probably not going to be as bright as a regular modern LCD, but you know, it could still be usable for certain tasks. So, and it is only 720p. So the repair on this was around $12 or so for those two parts. But if you can get the capacitors cheaper, this would have cost probably $1.50, if that, you know, especially if you already have the capacitors. So that was the expensive part, is that each of these capacitor packs cost like $5-6, because mostly due to shipping, and only got a few. So if you can get the capacitors cheaper, doing a repair like this is a lot cheaper. So there could be other things wrong with these, but it's pretty well known that capacitors can go bad, and they're pretty easy to check visually. So I went in there, I looked for the bulging capacitors, replaced them, and here we are. We have a working monitor again. So that makes me pretty happy, so I can post this video, and it's not a video of where I'm failing to fix this monitor. So that's all I'm going to cover in this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, things I could have done differently or easier, sources for capacitors, things like that, drop a comment below. If you like this video, please click like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you could do that. And thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.